Okay, so normally I start with a funny video, and I saw this come up. Melania Trump speaks on Jeffrey Epstein. I've never been friends with Epstein. That's my Melania impression, in case you didn't know. And this is funny to me because, like, that's a joke. Of course, we know that you had involvement with Epstein. So I want to watch this, get a little laugh from it. I'm curious as to what this is leading to, if this is deflection from the illegal, immoral war with Iran. And that really goes to show how in such deep of shit the administration is with all of these various endeavors that are extremely harmful and violent and overtly fascist at home and abroad. So let's see what this has in store for us. And then I'm very excited to read the comments, but I want to do that after. Okay.
First Lady Melania Trump is speaking right now at the White House. Let's listen in.
Good afternoon. The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect.
Oh, because that's humility. How is someone going to show humility when talking about your connections to this crime syndicate that you are, like, directly involved?
Not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation.
It's so sad. That's so
I
hard.
never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles.
She looks like she's shaking. She's nervous. Hello, Stuart Little is my son. Yeah, cry me a fucking river. I'm glad that she's nervous. Yeah. I did not know Mr. Epstein. Okay, bitch. Sure.
Is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell.
Then why are there pictures of you together, bitch? Why are there pictures of you? Excuse me? You did have a relationship with Epstein, according to many eyewitnesses, in fact. People who have gone on the record to say that she dated Jeffrey Epstein first, whether that was consensual or not, whether she was abused, but then was handed off to Trump, and that Trump was upset that she had already been with Epstein. So
My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence. My polite reply to her email
because that showed up in the
doesn't amount
Epstein files.
to anything more than a trivial note. I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein
Okay.
did not introduce me to Donald Trump.
That's also
I
why.
met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998.
At the New York City party in 1998. Yeah, we know that's a blatant lie.
This initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania.
Okay.
The first time I
That means,
crossed paths
because it's in her book, now we have to believe her. Wow. Shame on us for thinking otherwise.
with Epstein was in the year
Do we have someone
2000
out of this? What do
at an
we?
event Donald and I
What was that? That sounded like someone probably with ABC, their mic was hot. Yeah, Epstein's party. She was at a party of Epstein's. And if it wasn't Epstein, then it was probably Ghislaine Maxwell's or one of their friends or like Les Wexner or some shit. It's like all of these. All of these just completely blatant lies
attended
are
together.
insane.
At the time, I had never met Epstein and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings. Numerous fake images
Oh, this is the funny video for today. Fake. What does that even mean? Before Photoshop was invented, someone like went old-fashioned style and was like cutting out photos, gluing your head on someone else's body. What does that even mean? Also, I love this chyron at the bottom. Melania Trump. I've never been friends with Epstein. Okay, sure.
and statements about Epstein and me have been calculating on social media
Calculating?
for years now.
I think you mean circulating?
Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false.
Oh, shame on
I'm
us.
not a witness or a named witness in connection with any of Epstein's crimes. My name has never appeared in court documents, depositions,
Yet.
victim statements, or FBI interviews surrounding the Epstein matter.
As far as we
I have
know.
never had any knowledge
How about release the rest of the files, bitch? Call for the release of the rest of the files to actually prove that. Huh?
of Epstein.
If you have nothing to hide, if you have nothing to hide, if you don't have any guilt on your conscience, why do you feel the need to come out with a statement on this shit? Just to be like, yeah, I'm not going to indulge that. I know I'm not guilty. This makes her look so bad. Like, things must be really bad for the administration, like even worse than we know, that they are doing this.
abuse of his victims. I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island.
Supposedly, that was like one of the first times that Donna Josephine Trumpeth met Melania, is that they were on what they call the Lolita Express, and that they actually like had sex on the plane. So also we have some witnesses for that.
I have never been legally accused or convinced of a crime in
Convinced.
connection with Epstein's sex
I think she means
trafficking,
convicted.
abuse of minors, and other repulsive behavior. The false smears about me
And what about
from
your husband?
mean-spirited and politically motivated
He is notably not mentioned. His crimes just having to do with Epstein, who is conveniently dead.
individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name, to gain financially and climb politically, must stop.
My good name.
My attorneys and
By the way, the Supreme Court just recently heard a case on birthright citizenship, and she was not a citizen when Barron Trump was born. So, by virtue of all of the bullshit that they are trying to support in stripping people of birthright citizenship, Barron wouldn't be a citizen. It reminds me of this. Oh, what is this?
I didn't realize it was even a conversation. I always assumed we would be heavily involved.
This is bad. We gotta definitely write a song about how we do not diddle kids. Do not diddle kids. It's no good diddling kids.
There is no quicker way for people to think that you are diddling kids than by writing a song about it.
You gotta write a song that says, ooh, I wouldn't do it with anybody younger than my
Exactly.
daughter. No little kids, gotta be big, older than my wife, younger than my daughter, something like that.
Don't write a song about that.
No, I'm cloudy, I got a headache.
Exactly. That's perfect for this moment. Thank you for sending that. Amazing.
I have fought these unfound
too
and
accurate.
baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation.
Yeah, you're suing
To date,
everyone. That's why.
Several individuals
Intimidating
and companies
people.
have been legally obligated to publicly apologize and retract their lies about me, such as Daily Beast, James Carville, and HarperCollins, UK. Now is the time for Congress to act.
Oh, it is? Now is the time? You do realize that your husband could actually release all the rest of the files, that he has control over that. I'm not a witness in connection with Jeffrey Epstein's crimes.
Epstein was not alone.
Yeah.
Several prominent male executives
He was with your
resigned from their
husband.
powerful positions after this matter became widely politicized. Of course, this doesn't amount to guilt,
Well,
but we still must work
what else would it
openly
be?
and transparently to uncover the truth. I call on Congress to provide the women who have been victimized by Epstein
What
with
about
a
the
public
men?
hearing specifically centered around
What about the people who are
survivors.
non-binary, probably?
Give these victims their opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony.
Yeah, they're wanting to do this to have Republicans just shred the survivors. That's what they're gonna do and be like, what about Donald Trump? What about Donald? Try to discredit them, which will be re-traumatizing, I'm sure.
Each and every woman should have her day to tell her story in public if she wishes, and then her testimony should be permanently entered into the congressional record.
Okay, so when they do that, what will happen then? Are you going to have this administration? Is the administration going to come out and be like, oh yeah, we encourage the DOJ to be looking at this? Will the DOJ be doing anything? Todd Blanche, who is directly involved with Epstein and Trump, who was his personal lawyer.
Then,
I think Todd Blanche
and
was
only then,
involved
we will have
in
the
the
truth.
trafficking as well.
Thank you.
Oh, she's not answering
We've
questions.
been listening to First Lady Melania
See ya.
Trump speaking from the White House, saying point blank that the Epstein lies about her need to stop.
What the
And laying out
fuck?
a list of things she says she has never been associated with when it relates to Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell. Let's bring in our White House correspondent, Karen Travers, who's been listening. Karen, a lot of questions about what exactly prompted this from the First Lady and what she's referring to here.
And of course, we're asking those questions, Elizabeth. This was not something that the First Lady's office had teed up or previewed in any way before she was giving those remarks. Just saying that she was
they're
coming out
feeling
today at the
desperate.
White House to make an announcement. And she went through with some detail there, but not explaining what, if anything, she was specifically responding to, saying she is not one of Epstein's victims, that she was
No
not
one knows
introduced
what she's
to her
responding
husband
to.
through Jeffrey Epstein, that she met him at a party, and that's well documented. She said she didn't have any knowledge of his victims. She wasn't involved in any of his crimes or situations and never visited the island. She referred to what she called baseless lies, didn't
The thing that's so funny about this too is that this sad, pathetic effort to try to continue the cover up, continue with the impunity, lack of accountability, is that now she is in front of a camera saying this to the American public, to the world at large, and she's lying. So we actually have her responses on record, so she can be held accountable.
expand upon that, but also said she calls on Congress to have women who are survivors, victims of Jeffrey Epstein, come forward and have an opportunity to testify. She says they should have a chance to tell their stories in public and have that entered into the congressional record. She didn't take questions, Elizabeth, before she walked out of the room there, but these remarks certainly prompting a lot more questions for the First Lady, for the White House. Why today? Why is she she speaking about this now, and what specifically
Hello.
she might be responding to
Is something
that she
big
felt
coming
compelled
out?
to come out and give these remarks. She is not somebody, Elizabeth, who does 2, 3, 4 events a week. So when she does speak and hold events here, they usually have significance because we don't often hear from her. And so this was something there are a lot of follow-up questions for today.
No question
Yeah.
about that. Very forceful statements. The First Lady saying, I am not.
And usually, since she does such rare events, when she's paid by her husband, that's probably what's happening, they make a big deal out of it. And they're like, oh, she's going to be at this, she's going to be at that. So it is very suspicious that there wasn't any sort of lead up to this. It's intentional that she was the face of this statement, that they know that it would be very harmful to Donald Trump if he came out and said something like this, that they're trying to deflect. But what a dumbass move.
Epstein's victim. Epstein, as you said, did not introduce me to my president. These were very clear statements
To
that
my
she wanted to
president.
lay out. I know you will continue to push, and we will keep pushing the White House on what this might be in response to. Karen Travers there at the White House for us. Thanks so much, Karen.
I love my husband. Oh, we recently got an update as well that now Pam Bondi is not going to be expected to come and testify before a committee with this subpoena. And that is just unacceptable. She was in charge of the Epstein files release. How did that happen? How did they manage that?